Welcome into episode 63 of the Sports Desk. I'm Splash. That is Jack. I totally screwed up the intro, but that is okay. I'm having a great day. Jack, how are you doing, buddy?
I will be having a great day if the Rams sign Bobby Wagner. I hear he's in the building for a visit right now, so that could help. That could help things right now. But no, the energy's good. I'm pretty hyped for what we got going on this week. So offseason's been pretty crazy too.
Sir, it has.
It's been popping.
So Jack is in the breaking news tab and on the in our workplace, right? And I am too, but I'm like often asleep or doing other things, right? I have other, I guess, priorities. Like I'm doing takes and the YouTube stuff. So like I'm in the breaking news tab, but that's like going nuts about 24/7 with random moves that like I didn't see coming. Like I will give full credit to Frankie. He saw the Davante Adams getting traded way out ahead in advance. So congratulations there. But I was asleep. I was legitimately asleep. I woke up at 11 Pacific, 11 Mountain Standard Time today. And the first thing I see on my phone is Tyreek Hill traded to the Dolphins. And I'm like losing my mind. I don't know. What was the first thing that came to your head when you saw the Tyreek Hill got traded?
That came out of nowhere. I think I was kind of like half asleep when I was processing the early news, like that usually happens. And it's like holy crap. I just kind of it totally caught me off guard. I was just stunned. Like all of a sudden he wants out, his contract talks stalled, and it's like now he's a Dolphin just like that. And I mean, I guess I can't feel as bad because I'm not a Jets fan. I guess the Jets fans are the ones that are taking the bigger L out of this whole situation, but
for sure.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. It just really it's one of those things. It's like it just sneaks up on you. You don't expect it. You don't really know why the contract talks stalled. Maybe he just wasn't happy with like what he was making or what was going on. I don't know.
Yeah, like I posted a list on the app just a minute ago and pushed it out, and the Chiefs have 2 of the top 10 cap hits. Mahomes, obviously, like $35 million cap hit. Chris Jones this year, $29 million cap hit, which is just ridiculous. Chris Jones is a great player, but that's a large cap hit for a defensive player. And I'm just thinking, like, I know you want to keep Tyreek Hill and you want to give Mahomes as many weapons as humanly possible, but I can understand you don't want to pay Tyreek Hill $28 million a year or $29 million a year. I don't know what he ended up asking for. I don't know what his contract is with the Dolphins. I don't think it's been finalized yet, but I understand you don't want to give him a comically large amount of money because he's approaching 30, if not like 29 already. And maybe you think, hey, we can accumulate more resources, right? We can take a guy with Miami's first round pick. You could even double up on wide receiver. You're bringing Juju in. You have Travis Kelce. You have a great offensive line that you're eventually going to have to pay. That's the part there that people don't. They love the offensive line moves. Trust me, I do too. It's a great offensive line, but you're going to have to pay Orlando Brown. He's on the franchise tag right now. And you have 2 rookies playing at a really high level. And then two guys that were 2021 draft picks, and then Lucas Niang at right tackle. So you're paying one guy right now, and you're kind of pushing the boat down the river, if you will, with Orlando Brown at left tackle. So they're going to have a lot of money invested into other parts of the offense and even the defense very soon. They had to kind of downgrade from Honey Badger to Justin Reed. At safety, you're going to have to make those business decisions, if you will, moving forward. And the Chiefs are not in an enviable position in terms of having to construct their roster around Patrick Mahomes. It's great that they have Mahomes, but oh boy, it's going to be
like
tough
one of those like now that
pieces.
you have him, what do you do with him kind of things. Like not even him too, it's just like what's surrounding him, like that whole situation.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a scary amount of money. Tyreek Hill is worth every penny of it, but that's a scary amount of money because you only have a certain number of dollars you can spend on your roster, right?
What was the extension that he signed? I'm trying to find that. I think it was 4 years at 120 mil.
I didn't see it.
I'm looking for it right now. Pretty sure it was 4 years at 120 mil, but I could be wrong. It's some huge, like the return was ridiculous. They had
was it 6 picks?
5 picks. It was 3 of them were this year. One was a first rounder, one was a second rounder. The Dolphins still, I think, have a pick out of their first round pick out of all those two, like their original.
So 4-year, $120 million, $72.2 million guaranteed. That is $30 million average there for a wide receiver. Wow. That's just wow. That's just wow. So congratulations to the Dolphins. You got one of the best receivers in football. Congratulations to the Chiefs. You got some whatchamacallits back. You got some draft picks back.
A lot of picks.
You can take Christian Watson. You can take heaven forbid, Jamison Williams. Like, it's hard to describe someone that is Tyreek Hill, but Jamison Williams is pretty darn close. Like, with that, his speed, his over the top speed, his quick and fast. Like, there's a difference. Like, think what's the name? Like Treylon Burks is not quick, but he's very fast. When he gets to his high end speed, he is very fast. But in a 40-yard dash situation, it's not a great idea, not a great spot to show his speed. Then you get a guy like Jamison Williams, and I think he would have run maybe in the 4.2s if he was in Indianapolis. Of course, he tore his ACL in the national championship game. He's a 4.3 guy. Tyreek Hill is probably a 4.2 guy, so you lose maybe a tick there. But I think if you're Chiefs, you have to end round one with a wide receiver and probably a defensive back. And that's, I think the Chiefs are going to shape up and have another excellent draft class. Of course, last year they got Creed Humphrey, who was amazing. Nick Bolton, who was spectacular as well. Trey Smith in the 6th round was one of the best picks of the entire draft. So congratulations all around there. And I'm excited for this NFL season, man. I know it's 6 months away, 5.5 months away, whatever you want to call it. I cannot wait.
We could be looking at all these teams in a different light come draft season, but for now it's like
and we could get a big trade on draft day. We could get a blockbuster. I don't know. I can't even. Who's the biggest name like that potentially could be available?
Remember the last draft that we did, and like a couple days before that draft, San Francisco traded up for the third overall pick, and then Miami just like traded their pick somewhere else or something like that. It was a whole mess.
So they traded down from 3, right, and then up to 6 to get Waddle.
That's right. I feel
like they could have gotten Waddle at 12. Like, I love me some Jalen Waddle, and I could not like delineate the top 3 much. Like, I think I ended up having it Chase and Devonte as like a 1A 1B thing. And Waddle is a 3, but they were like 3 of my top 10 prospects. But I do think maybe you could have gotten Waddle at 12, and they had gave up a 1st-round pick for that. That's why Philly is picking 3 times in the 1st round this year. So who knows? These trades, it's easy to say who won the trade in the moment, but what if the Chiefs draft the next Tyreek Hill, right? What if the Chiefs draft a stud receiver, a stud safety, a stud corner, what have you, and then they flip their entire organization around, or not even flip it around, just like make progress, if you will, and get a massive haul. It's like with the Stafford trade. It's like the Rams won a Super Bowl, but we don't know what's going to happen with the Lions. We don't know what those picks are going to be at 32, right? That could be a quarterback, and that could be a game changer, right? What if they get, I don't know, Sam Howell at 32, and Sam Howell becomes a great quarterback? Then the Lions won the trade, even though the Rams won a Super Bowl. So
that's one of those like both teams won, I guess you could say.
That's true. That's true.
Should we go to hot takes?
Yes, let's go to hot takes. I do not know where the graphic is, but I will be pulling that up on the uSTADIUM app. Make sure you download the app. I'm Splash. He's at Jack Mitchell. We both have like stars or check marks, or
you have a check mark. I have a star.
Yes. My sincerest apologies about that, buddy. But
I'll get a check mark soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, one day we'll both be check marks. And if you want a check mark, I don't know how to help you out. Anyways, let's get into some hot takes. Got some spicy ones. Remember, you can post your hot takes as long as they are objective. Like, I don't know, the Braves will be good at baseball. Not a good example, but the Braves will win 90 games. Perfect.
Odell Beckham Jr. will return to the Rams. That's one. That's something I just came up with that on the spot. I could point.
But OBJ will be good in 2022. That
doesn't count as a take.
Now you can say he's going to score 5 touchdowns. Or my take. This is, I think, if I had to make like a Mount Rushmore of takes, like influential takes in the history of uSTADIUM, one of them is me calling Odell Beckham to score a touchdown for a team, for the team that signed him in the playoffs before he signed with the team.
That was elite. That was one of the best takes
That
I've ever
is
seen. Like,
that is up there. That is like Jamar Chase will have exactly 5 catches. I got that one right. I got a bunch of points on that one. There are a couple really great ones.
what's my best take?
There are a couple really great takes.
I don't know. I felt pretty happy when there was one night when I said that some Clippers game was gonna hit the over, and everyone was disagreeing like crazy, and then it hit the over.
Yeah.
So
It's such a nice feeling when you get like that plus 1,000 and change or plus 6,000, whatever, what have you. So, yeah, if you're interested in making takes, drop a comment on the app or in the YouTube comment section. Say, let me know, hey, Splash, what's up? And I will send you some points so you can get popping on your takes. March Madness we're going to talk about March Madness a little bit later in the show. All sorts of takes involved there. NBA, NHL, MLB is starting up just around the corner. NFL draft stuff. And heck, I have made some really out there NFL takes. I said for this season, like the Ravens would have a top 10 scoring and total offense. The Bears would make the playoffs. The Saints will re-sign Jameis or something. Jameis is a week 1 starter. That's one of the takes I had. So there's a lot of potential here, so I'm super excited. Let's get into some for today. This is from Mike_1625. He says, Devonte Parker is traded to the Packers.
so it's a different Devonte then that you're gonna have in Green Bay, and their names are spelled differently.
And they're very different skill sets too.
That's true. I might agree with this one actually. It seems like it might be a good fit. It could be a chance for Devonte Parker to kind of reset in Green Bay.
Right.
I just don't know what Green Bay is willing to give up in return as a thing.
Yeah, Green Bay did get some draft capital back in the Davante Adams trade, so maybe you can part ways with something in there. I don't know how much you would really spend for Mr. Devonte Parker because he's a good receiver, but he's not okay, they say wide receivers grow on trees, and I think Devonte Parker is one of those receivers that is a little bit better than the one that grows on trees, right? You're not going to get like an Adams or a Hill or a Chase or a Cup or Jefferson, etc. You're not going to get them on a tree, but I think you could get Devonte Parker on a particularly nice tree. Like if you had like a nice orchard, like I wouldn't be surprised if you like picked a fruit from the orchard and oh yeah, this is a pretty good receiver. I think you can get Devonte Parker in a forest, if you will. Tyreek Hill is in a lab. Davante Adams is in a lab. Justin Jefferson is in a lab. Jamar
Cooper
Chase
Kupp is in a lab.
Cooper Kupp, etc. So Parker is. I don't know if Parker's good enough that you're sending major draft capital the other way.
No,
like
that's what I was gonna say.
If Robert Woods was worth a 5th round pick. Now I know there's like cap stuff, so it's not exactly his value.
I'm gonna rant about that trade later. Don't worry.
But like Amari Cooper got traded for a 6th, so. If you're Miami, Devonte Parker lost value today. That Devonte Parker lost value today because he is less valuable to Miami. Therefore, a team, let's say the Packers, sees that. Why would we trade a 2nd round pick for a guy that's your wide receiver 3? Like, why would we do that? Or potentially wide receiver 4 if you could spend another pick in the draft. So Parker is a good player. But I don't know if he's worth trading for, and I don't know how much he's worth on the market there. Are you going to trade a 3rd round pick for him? I don't think so. 4th round pick for him? I don't think so. So yeah, I don't know.
It's possible though. It's one of those like it's possible, but we're not like 100% on it. But it could happen.
Yeah, I think it's a fair take to have, and I think it's currently it's perfectly balanced as all things should be. 2 people agree, 2 people disagree. I think that's absolutely fair. All right. This is from Beekeeper EB. He says the Chiefs will either sign Odell or trade up in round 1 to pick a new wide receiver.
I agree with trading up in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might do that. I disagree with the Odell part. I think like the Rams are like insistent that they want Odell back. It's a matter of like figuring out the whole contract thing, especially since he's coming back from an injury mid-season. They said he won't be ready until November. So it's tricky, but they're trying to make progress on it. Mm-hmm. I think how much capital does I get? They have a lot of capital because they just got a bunch of it today in that trade. So they could probably trade up.
Yeah, I think, and you have 2 first-round picks. as of right now. So it's what 20. Is it 29 and 30? I think it's 29 and 30
I don't think
because
it's 29.
yeah, they got the San Francisco pick. Miami got this.
Oh, true.
So the pick, Miami's pick was the San Francisco pick, which was 29, and the Chiefs have 30. Yeah. So the Chiefs currently have 29 and 30. That's an interesting spot. Maybe I don't know. Okay, I need to get into the head of like a general manager here. I think it's incredibly advantageous to have two picks like close together because it gives you options, but I don't know what a GM thinks. I don't know if a GM is thinking we need to have like, you want to get into different pools of players, or if you can get two guys in the same pool, is that cool? Like if you're the Eagles and Howie Roseman, do you like having three picks in the middle of the first round that you're not quite getting like Kyle Hamilton, but you're also getting three really good players? You're getting three top 20 players. You might not get that number one, like that that franchise altering, immediate all-pro. You're not getting Aaron Donald, right? So although Aaron Donald was the 14th pick in 2014.
That was such a wild draft. That it was.
We need to do. I liked Frankie's idea. We need to do like a remock,
a redraft.
Like go back 20 years and like just look at the chaos. Now that's obviously tough to do because you have to like, I don't know. Would you want to like look into these rosters and say, oh, they need a quarterback, so they're still going to go quarterback? Or are we just picking like, the like just reordering the draft? That's my question. What would you want to do?
Like I would just like probably for a mock draft, I'd probably just like redo it, same teams in the same order.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, we would have the teams in the same order, but let's say I can't think of a good example. Okay, actually, let me give you a really good example. So Trevor Lawrence was in last year's draft class, right? The Jags have the number one pick in this draft class. Let's say hypothetically that the best player in both 2021 and 2022, so Lawrence and 2022, the best player becomes a quarterback, right? Let's say it's Lawrence and I don't know, Malik Willis. 15 years down the line and you're redrafting for Jacksonville, do you say you take the best player available, or do you say we have Trevor Lawrence, let's figure out like pick a need, right? You'd pick the best tackle or the best edge or what have you.
I feel like with a redraft, you tend to look at like historical stuff. Like 15 years down the line, if Trevor Lawrence pretty much becomes what Tom Brady was, then you'd take Trevor Lawrence unquestionably.
Yeah,
it's kind of like we look like you just mentioned. Aaron Donald was taken 13th overall.
13 or 14.
If we redrafted that year's class, we would probably be taking Aaron Donald first overall, no question. So
is there anyone with an argument, like just positional value argument? Obviously, no one's better than Donald, but Zach Martin plays guard.
What year was that? That was
2014.
2014 NFL draft.
Would you take Zach Martin at tackle over Aaron Donald on the interior? I think that's an interesting one because Martin is incredible, right? He had another all-pro caliber season this year. He has.
I'm laughing at this draft class because OBJ was taken by New York a pick before.
Mike Evans is. Oh my lord! It wasn't
Eric Ebron, Taylor Lewan was taken. Anthony Barr was taken before. Khalil Mack was taken before.
I think we took CJ Mosley at 17.
What a wild draft, man!
Yeah, let me look on Pro Football Reference and see who the number one pick in that draft. Not the
it was Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, like the number one guy by AV in that class. Like approximate. I would imagine it's Donald, but
probably Donald.
But can you justify taking an offensive tackle number one overall nowadays? I don't. I know it's like Justin Tucker, for example. Where would you take Tucker if you were drafting? Like if there was an NFL fantasy draft, right, and every team got shaken up.
Shook. Whatever.
Yeah. Every team gets, jumbled up. Who goes number one overall? Well, who goes number one overall is probably Mahomes or Herbert, a quarterback. How many quarterbacks go first? And where do you take a Tucker? Where do you take Aaron Donald? Because you think Aaron Donald is not like a spring chicken, right? Or where do you take TJ Watt? Do you take Myles Garrett over TJ Watt because Garrett is younger? Do you take Joey Bosa because he's younger? Do you take Nick Bosa earlier? Do you take Chase Young because he's only in his third year? Do you like?
It's true.
I'm fascinated. We should do that in the offseason.
That's gonna be a wild draft. You know what we should do is we should do that for like teams in Madden and then do the Madden
Would you?
tournament.
Okay, here's the question. Here's the question. If you had the number 1 overall pick, would you take Aaron Donald or Khalil Mack based on positional value? Mack was an elite edge, or is Derek Carr good enough to have this conversation? Because he's a good quarterback. I'm not saying
we could go on about this for days.
Yeah, we could go on. Devonte Adams. Oh my goodness. CJ Mosley, Brandon Cooks. Wow.
And it's
Brandon
like you have
Cooks
to put yourself in the mindset of
him.
like you don't know. Like we don't know if Aaron Donald is like as good as he's gonna be. Like it's just, oh man, we could go on about it for days.
Yeah, it's unreal. It is unreal. All right, let me get over to the next hot take. Here we go. That was by Beekeeper EB, by the way. All right, this is from our friend Bursch Bombs. He says Miami Dolphins win the AFC East.
Disagree.
Also, Baskey chiming in at number 1. I'm clearly taking Carson Wentz. Mad respect to your Commanders there. Yeah. I don't think the Dolphins are better than the Bills. I think
the Dolphins are not better than the Bills. They might be better than the Patriots. I think it's a little too early to call.
That's the funniest part. There are some weird sweeps. Like the Browns swept the Bengals. You guys got swept by the Niners, then beat them in the playoffs. We got swept by the Steelers and Bengals. Like what is this?
We swept the Seahawks. I guess it's not a weird one, but it counts.
Yeah.
What's another weird sweep that happened?
The Titans swept the Colts with Derrick Henry, and then Derrick Henry didn't play another game.
Did the Seahawks sweep the Cardinals?
No. Russell Wilson had an absolute stinker, and Arizona. They may have beaten him with Colt McCoy. Actually, they just curb stomped him. The week that Russ was awful, then week 18, Russ came back and was pretty good. Kansas City didn't sweep the division for once.
I can't think of any. There's a lot of weird sweeps, but you just have to look at the rest of their teams in their division. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're better than Buffalo. I'm still salty about Von Miller. They New England I think is more of a bit of a toss up, but I mean obviously they're better than they're worse than the Jets. Am I right? Like the Jets are the best team in that division.
Yeah. The 17-0 Jets that will never lose another game with Zach Wilson. There you go.
They could probably finish 3rd and still make a wild card spot. Maybe they finish 2nd. Maybe they finish 1st. Who knows? But I don't think they're better than the Bills. I think the Bills are the favorite to win that division still.
It's tough. Because there's so many. I'm going to pose this question to you. How many teams in the AFC would be considered top 5 teams if they moved to the NFC? Like if you swapped this team and the Lions, right? How many teams in the AFC, if they took the Lions spot, would be top 5 teams in the NFC?
I don't know if I can come up with an exact number for that, but I think
let me use my board back here, right? I think the Bills are comfortably a top 5 team in the NFL.
Yes, the Bills are.
Patriots, I don't think they're better than Dallas, Green Bay, Tampa, you guys, or San Francisco. So no on New England. I would say no on Miami as well. Maybe you have the argument. I need Tua. I'm a big Tua guy. I need Tua to play how I perceive him, how I think he is. I think he's a good player, and he hasn't really shown it in the NFL. So I would scrap Miami, scrap the Jets. I think Baltimore is probably better than Dallas. So, okay, do we agree that the top 5 teams in the NFC are Dallas, Green Bay, Tampa, you guys, and San Francisco?
I think so. Okay. I think it's pretty fair. We might have to take a deeper dive into that probably, but I think for now it's fair.
I think Baltimore's better than Dallas. I think Cincinnati is better than Dallas. I think Cleveland is better than Dallas. Pittsburgh might be borderline. Probably not. Pittsburgh is going to win 10 games though.
Because Tennessee, they always do.
Yeah, Tennessee. Actually, they play Dallas, so that I probably would
that'll
take
be
Dallas.
fun. I would take Tennessee over Dallas.
That's a close one. I think they're in the same tier of teams.
Yeah.
I would say
I like Mike Vrabel more though.
Yeah, I'd still take the Chiefs over the Cowboys. I take the Chargers over the Cowboys. I take the Broncos over the Cowboys. Would you take the Raiders over the Cowboys?
Cowboys last year, but I'd still probably take the Chargers. The That was last year.
Would you take the Raiders
Over the Cowboys?
Yes.
That's another tricky one. That's kind of like the Tennessee question because they're again. I think they're kind of similar tier.
They
Like
did.
the
They won
Raiders,
on Thanksgiving
they
at
did beat
AT&T
them.
Stadium.
So, but and like now they have Devonte Adams.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be a spicy
so many
game
fun
again.
NFL conversations we can have, but we have 5.5 months. We're gonna have so much fun with like random recording sessions. We could probably just like, hey, well, what do you think of this team doing this? It's like unreal. So does Miami win the AFC East? I don't think so. Buffalo just kind of owns them. I believe Buffalo's won the last, I want to say 6 games against the Dolphins. Might be more than that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, not all of that is like the same version of the Dolphins or the same version of the Bills, but it's been a butt whooping for a while here. So I think Miami is good. I think Miami could make the playoffs if Tua takes a step in the right direction. They have a good defense. Bolster the defensive line a little bit. They have added pieces to the offensive line, which is encouraging. They tagged Mike Gesicki. Waddle is there. Tyreek Hill is there. And people actually hear me out. Tua's strength, if you will, or Tua's weakness at Alabama for a lot of people was he had too many stars around him, right? And he would never be able to replicate that speed in the NFL, right? With Waddle and Devonte Smith and not Jameson Williams, Waddle, Devonte Smith, Judy, Ruggs. But now
he's got Tyreek Hill, whose nickname is literally Cheetah.
Yeah, you have a guy who probably could like have a real shot of competing at like Olympic caliber sprinting events. But
if it wasn't DK Metcalf, Tyreek would probably be doing it. So,
man, I so desperately wish that the NFL made it like a requirement that every single player in the league had a official 40 time. Like I want to see Lamar Jackson's 40, Kyler Murray's 40, and Tyreek Hill's 40. That's it. Those are the 3 that I want. Everyone else, do I really care what Tom Brady's 40 is at 45?
Of course not. No.
But Tyreek Hill, I think Tyreek Hill is going to run in the 4.2s. I think Lamar could, on the right day, could run a 4.2, probably in the low 4.3s. I think Kyler's the same way. There we go. Who's the fastest player in the Rams, in your opinion?
Cooper Kupp.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I guess he's more known for yards after catch.
Yeah, like I don't think
that is a good question. That is a good question. You know,
I don't know who I would pick on the Ravens because it's between Hollywood and Lamar. Because oh my goodness, that's a lot of fun to think about.
Yeah, I think Kupp and Woods were more yards after catch guys.
Yeah, they're more like thicker builds,
Brandon Powell, I think, is a good answer.
Powell's a good answer. Tutu Atwell can run.
I'd like to see him run more. Hopefully he gets more of an opportunity now.
Oh man, I still can't believe you guys made that pick with all the respect.
That was an L.
But hey, it doesn't matter. You won a Super Bowl. Tutu Atwell, Super Bowl champion.
It's like I feel bad complaining about that because it's like it's a terrible pick, but we won a Super Bowl that year, so I can kind of let it slide for now. So
yeah, Super Bowl champion Tutu Atwell. That's a fun one.
Wow. Not as fun as Super Bowl champion. What's his name? Deshaun Jackson. Listen, if he gets a ring, that means everybody else in the Rams got a ring. So
yeah. Hey,
I'll live with it.
That's true. Or if the Raiders won the championship.
Oh God!
Imagine that. All right.
Don't they have a Super Bowl coming up in Vegas soon?
Probably. I think this year is in Glendale,
Arizona. Yeah.
Congratulations to Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals for winning the Super Bowl. Word to the Rams and Bucks.
Okay.
All right. Another hot take, or do you want to move into the main show?
Let's do one more.
Wow, we're already 29 minutes.
I know. This is just fun. This is our shout out to Henry. This is his take. He says Zach Wilson has more passing yards than Sam Darnold in 2022.
Okay, I feel like this is a bit of a layup because as far as I'm concerned, the thing that could go very, very wrong here is Darnold just doesn't start many games, right?
Yeah.
I'm more confident that Zach Wilson makes 17 starts than Sam Darnold makes 17 starts.
Mm-hmm.
If I was guaranteed the same number of starts,
probably
maybe lean Darnold, but I don't think Darnold's gonna have as many starts as Zach Will. This is
more just like a fun like Jets take anyway, but I just thought it would be fun to bring up. But like you said, I think I'm probably more confident that Wilson's gonna start more games.
it's like in years past, when you have the passing yard argument, is Matt Ryan going to have more passing yards than X? Probably, because Matt Ryan's going to accumulate a lot of passing yards and he's going to play every game, right? With Sam Darnold, I don't trust that he's going to play a full season. I don't trust that he's going to play 15, 16, 17 games. Could he? Sure. Do I think Carolina is run well enough at the moment to warrant that? No. And do I think Sam Darnold is particularly good at football? No. But what I do think is that it's a fun conversation to have as to, I guess, how good do you think Zach Wilson is? And I think Wilson's going to have a much better 2022 season. And I feel like I'm in this pit of perpetual optimism about these teams. Like yesterday, full disclosure, I write articles for Primetime Sports Talk. Shout out to my guys there. And I wrote last night, my article was how every team in the NFC East can win the Super Bowl. I don't think it's been published yet, but I was talking myself for about an hour last night. I was talking myself into how the Commanders, Eagles, and Giants could win the Super Bowl. It was March 22nd, now March 23rd. The NFL, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't think there's anything more that needs to be said. All right. Let's get back to the main stuff. So, by the way, we'll be sending points to everybody who if their take was featured, except for Henry because he's with us. So,
yeah. I don't know what the company policy is because I've tried to cash out before, but I think I was like a tester thing. So, I mean, I guess you could just send points to us. I mean, I can't really.
I don't know how it works.
I don't know. Like if I'm not going to get Frankie's not going to send me $25 to like as a like withdrawal of my points, right?
Right.
I wish
that'd be cool.
That'd be make it very easy. So that's fun. All right.
Okay. We
what
should talk.
Big wide receiver trade do you want to talk about first?
Which one?
There's which 2020 All-Pro wide receiver should we talk about first?
I think we're both trying to bring it up at the same time, but yeah. I don't think that's much of a hot take if Bobby Wagner resigns. I guess I might as well get the Robert Woods trade out of the way. That was pretty painful. It was Robert Woods to the Titans for a 6th round pick in the 2023 draft. Mm-hmm. Not great. That's a fleece.
Okay, here's I guess my thoughts here is that when you see a trade go down like that and you know the player of Robert Woods' caliber, you think, well, he deserves more than that. And yes, he absolutely does. But there's a couple things working against him here. First of all, he's coming off of a torn ACL, which
this is true.
Yes, ACLs are kind of less important than they used to be. Like they used to be career defining. Like you're just kind of toast. But nowadays you can, I don't want to say work around it, but it's more of like an occupational hazard than like you just lose a season, right? You lose a season, you lose a chunk of a season, whatever. It's more of a setback than like a permanent thing. Mm-hmm. But he's recovering from that ACL and he was due like a massive, like several $1 million in a roster bonus, right? The next day. So the Rams
once I read about the roster bonus, I was like, now it makes sense why they're trying to move him because it's like they're trying to open up cap. And it does sting a little bit, though, to think about how the team, when you're trying to do that, it kind of sends the message that, like, we don't really need Robert Woods anymore, which hurts a little bit. Because
you have Allen Robinson now.
You do have Allen Robinson, and it's like, but, like, it's just the intangible stuff that Robert Woods brought to the team. Like, a lot of people are calling him, like, the heart and soul of the Rams, which is kind of true. Right. And the leadership and, like, I guess the veteran presence, you could say.
Yeah, I would say so. Like he's been in quite a few NFL locker rooms, you know, with the Bills and with the Rams. And so I think he's going to bring value to the Titans. And I think he's definitely made Julio Jones expendable. I don't remember which deal was made first.
Julio got cut
Yeah. So he made Julio expendable there. So you have a legitimate number 2 wide receiver. So I don't remember if Julio was cut first, but if he was, then Robert Woods is an easy contingency plan. If not, then obviously Julio's expendable at that point. Like, I think the Titans got better with this trade, and I know they didn't have to give up a whole lot for it, but I think that's the same thing with the Amari Cooper trade, and same thing. Even if you look at some of the big quarterback trades, even the Adams trade, like the Adams and the Hill trade, like you have to factor in contract value there. It's not just trading for a player 1-for-1. It's you are trading for a player and you have to pay them money, right? Like the Rams had to give Stafford a mega deal, right?
Which they did. We can talk about that later.
Yes. The Raiders gave Adams the most money ever to a wide receiver. And now the Dolphins I cannot believe Tyreek Hill is on the Dolphins.
Yeah,
the Miami Dolphins gave him a $120 million deal within an hour of trading for him. So that drove down the price, if you will. So if you're thinking of it like this, like think of maybe like a sign-in trade in the NBA, like the old sign-in trades, that if you're signing a deal with that original team, then you're transferring that money to the Dolphins, right? Or you're transferring that money to the new team. And it's a different negotiation. You have to factor eventual negotiations with the player. You have to be confident that you can sign a player. And it also works in the opposite direction, that when you trade for a guy, you have to pay them, because you just spent, I think of the Laramie Tunsil trade. You just spent a ton of draft capital on Laramie Tunsil. So Laramie Tunsil is just walking up to the offering, or walking up to like whatever meeting with Nick Casario. I don't remember who the general manager. I guess Bill O'Brien. So like he's walking into that room with Bill O'Brien and co. He's like, "All right, folks, you just paid tons of draft capital for me, so I need you to open up your wallet and spend a comically large amount of money on me." Orlando Brown can do the same thing with the Chiefs. They tagged him. Tyreek Hill got to do the same thing. Davante Adams got to do the same thing. Matthew Stafford got to do the same thing with the Rams. Every time you trade for a player like that good, it's like you're opening up the checkbook for him.
Pretty much. So. Yeah, but it will stink to see Robert Woods in another uniform.
Yes, I do not like that he's in the AFC.
Yeah, that probably hurts for you. So.
Okay, so before we move on, I have a question for you. So on a scale of 1 to 10, or maybe on a scale of 0 to 100, 100 being all, 0 being none, how much of the moves, like free agency moves, whether it's trade, whether it's signings, how much do you think has helped the AFC? How much is a positive for the AFC and subtracting from the NFC?
Do you want me to put a percentage on it?
Yeah. Because say 50-50 would be every AFC to NFC move was canceled out with an NFC to AFC move. So for every Davante Adams trade, there was a Davante Adams going the opposite direction.
Which hasn't really happened yet. I'm looking at a lot of these moves that I listed off. Davante Adams went from the NFC to the AFC. Some of these guys just went from AFC to AFC to begin with. Mm-hmm. So it's I'd say really the AFC, as a whole, I think it got better than the NFC. So I would say a good 80% of these moves, but that might be a little high. I don't know. It just feels I haven't heard I think Allen Robinson is the biggest move that I've heard so far, and that might not even be the biggest move after today.
Yeah,
so
Jameis,
that
was just re-signing.
Hopeful, but I guess
Robinson was kept in the NFC anyways. That's not
that's
balance
what I mean.
Of power. Brady came back. Shaq Mason, a Pro Bowl guard, Pro Bowl caliber guard.
Where was what's his name? Malcolm Butler. Where was he before he signed with the Patriots?
Arizona. Was he on the Cardinals? He spent some time with the Cardinals. Let's see. Any other
I can't think of another significant AFC to NFC move.
Yeah, because it's Mason, Wentz technically,
okay.
But
Wentz
I would cancel that out with it. I would cancel that out with Matt Ryan. I think that's a pretty net of 0 essentially.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cowboys, nothing. The Giants got Mark Lewinsky from the Colts. He's okay.
Mariota went to the Falcons, but I guess that's we don't know if he's going to be the starter.
Yeah, that's not moving the needle too much. Tampa, Atlanta, Carolina. Bradley Bozeman to the Panthers for $1 million. I cannot believe he signed that contract. Shoot.
We haven't talked about Lyle Collins. Lyle, how do you pronounce that?
Lyle Collins is very
Lyle
good
Collins.
at football. I am bummed that he's a member of the Cincinnati Bengals now. Very good right tackle, specifically right tackle too. So it's not even like a switching the guy over. Rams didn't make any like AFC to NFC like major ones. Niners, Cardinals, Seahawks. I mean, they lost everything in the lost a lot in the Russell Wilson trade, or lost Russell Wilson in the Russell Wilson trade. Imagine that. Let's see. Packers, Vikings. I mean, as far as I can think, the only Bears, Lions. Yeah, like there have been very few moves. Like Shaq Mason is probably the most notable player, the best player to move from
James
the AFC
Washington
to
went from the Steelers to the Cowboys.
Oh yeah, James. Yes. There we go. Elite wide receiver James Washington. He's good. He's
good. I'm not calling him elite,
he's a solid
but he's
wide receiver 3. I do like CD. I love me some CD Lamb. I'm excited to see him as a wide receiver 1.
Dallas is like low key scary next season.
Yeah, and it's funny because I just mentioned like 12 of these AFC teams might be better than Dallas, and Dallas is scary, and they just had the number 1 offense both in points and yards. Imagine that. The NFL.
What can we say? Let's talk about some more of these moves, though. I feel like we should talk about Deshaun Watson. That's kind of a big one that happened as of late.
Yeah, you think?
And
you like the top 5 quarterback.
You know what we were talking about just now? Like the big AFC to NFC moves. That almost happened. We were this close to saying that Deshaun Watson is an Atlanta Falcon.
Or a New Orleans Saint.
And then... Well, it looked like my guess was Atlanta, and then I was just trying to make another 28-3 joke because they
at the last moment,
lead. At the last moment, after
2 minutes to go in the third quarter on their quest to sign Deshaun Watson, everything went wrong.
After telling the Browns no, Cleveland does not give up, and lo and behold, he pulls a complete 180, total U-turn, whatever you want to call it, and he signs. Or he agrees to be traded to the Cleveland Browns and then signs a huge extension. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Fully guaranteed, $250 million. Was it $250 million?
$250 million sounds like a lot.
Is it two? How much was it? 230. I think it was 230. I think it was 5 years.
I think it was let me look. I want to verify.
Yeah, 5 years, 230 sounds about right. But okay, look, I'm a Ravens fan. I'm aware that I'm a Ravens fan.
Oh, the terms got changed at the last second. Jeez.
Oh. Okay.
Oh no, that was the trade terms. The contract terms, 5-year, $230 million.
Yeah. Watson is an incredible talent. He is. I don't know where you have him in your quarterback list. We'll get into that over the summer.
Probably.
But he is 1,000% a top 10 quarterback. I stuck my neck out and said he was the best quarterback in the AFC in 2020. I think he's at very least like number 5 in the NFL. Like I think Mahomes has a fine argument. Allen, Rodgers, you can argue Brady, and then after that, I think he's better than Herbert. I think he's better than Lamar. I think he's better than Burrow. I think he's better than Stafford. I think he's better than Cousins, Carr, Dak, Kyler.
Definitely better than Kyler.
So one guy can throw to Deshaun Watson and one guy can throw to DeAndre Hopkins and others. The other can only throw to DeAndre Hopkins.
There you go.
Take your guess on which player is which. Yeah, with that said, yeah, Deshaun Watson, I think that is a massive shift of power. And it's not even a shift of power because there was no power in Houston because he wasn't going to play for them. It's like it's almost like drafting a guy.
We talked about all of the legal incidents that were happening with Deshaun, and those got I think the NFL is still investigating a little bit, but I think they were mostly clear. I know
he's clear of
jury
criminal
side of
charges.
Things he's clear.
There's some civil stuff, and I think the NFL is going to suspend him at some point. I do think,
which is fair.
Okay, I saw PFF do this, and I want to throw this out there that if you need resources to contact with these things, like we're not trying to glorify what Deshaun Watson did. We're just talking about him on the football field. So do I think Deshaun Watson is a good person? No. Do I at this point? No. So we're not trying to condone anything that he did or may have done. So if you need help, seek help. There's plenty of resources out there. So we're just talking about football here.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Actually, that's important.
He's probably going to get suspended. Is it going to be enough? Probably not, because we know how the NFL wheel of discipline does. Like, they'll suspend Calvin Ridley a season for
gambling.
For a couple parlays. They'll suspend Josh Gordon for like all of the years, and then they'll do a slap on the wrist for things like serious things. So if you need help, feel free to seek help. If we do get any super chats, I'd be more than happy to send my cut to an organization that helps with these things. I know PFF had a specific one because they're in Ohio, which is also where Cleveland is. So I don't have any specifics. That was kind of like off the cuff, but yeah, I'd be more than happy to, if we make any money off this, I'd be more than happy to send my cut over to a domestic, not domestic, like a sexual assault awareness sort of deal.
Yeah.
So I'd be more than happy to. So just here for football.
Yes. We're just talking football.
At least for a little bit. Then we'll talk about basketball.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of which, there was the guy I feel bad for, I guess I could say, is Baker Mayfield. I do feel a little bit bad for him because it's like he requested a trade which got denied, and then the Browns ended up getting Desean Watson anyway. And now that he wasn't involved in the deal. Baker wasn't. So it's like, what do you do with him at this point? And I think an option that some people are talking about is they trade him to San Francisco for Jimmy Garoppolo.
What?
It sounds a little wild. That sounds a little wild.
I heard you start the I heard you start the S sound. I was like, oh yeah, Seattle. I've heard that a million times. San Francisco. What?
He probably could go to. I think Seattle's. I forgot about Seattle completely. They might be a viable. I'm not gonna ever get used to Russ playing for another team.
Me neither. As someone that is born, raised in Georgia, lived the first 18 years of my life in Georgia. Matt Ryan and holding up that Colts jersey.
That's so weird.
No, no. I used to have a poster of Matt Ryan in my room. We'd have these the bookstore would open, not the bookstore, the oh my goodness, not book club. It would be like oh my goodness, it was like elementary school. It'd be like a week, and like they'd sell erasers and books. Book fair. Does that sound right?
Book fair. Yeah.
So my mom only let me buy one poster in elementary school, because she said that it would end up on the floor and end up in the garbage. I got a Matt Ryan poster for that poster, like 2009-ish. It's like the rookie year, second year, like early in his Atlanta tenure. So congratulations, Matt Ryan. You were immortalized by my purchasing habits.
This is like when I was little, I know the Montreal Canadiens are not my favorite team, but when I was little, I loved Saku Koivu. He was like my favorite guy. And then when I saw him wearing a Ducks jersey.
Yes, Austin. That's what I'm talking about.
That was it. That was the thing. Like near the end of 2012, I think is like, or 2014 is when he retired. And he was like playing for the Ducks his last year. It was just such a weird thing to see.
Yeah, it's always what's one play, like Brady with the Bucks was weird too. What's the weirdest player?
The weirdest player that you've seen playing with like another team. I'm not gonna say Gretzky because he played for 3.
Yeah, Ed Reed on the Jets was weird. And Texans.
Favre on the Packers was probably weird.
Vikings.
Vikings, sorry. Yeah.
Favre on the Vikings is weird. I would imagine for like classic Steelers fans, imagining Rod Woodson as a Raven is weird.
It was weird seeing LeBron on the Lakers for 1 year.
Yeah.
Now it's just kind of like
that. Deion Sanders as a member of the Washington R words.
I'm trying to think of one more. Jeez.
Oh man, there's some fun ones. Freddie Freeman on the Dodgers.
That's not weird. That's not weird at all. It was awesome to see his first at bat in spring training. And then
we can actually both point
yes, we can.
Because you have the 2020 ring, I have the 2021 ring.
I have the 2020 ring for that. I have the 2020 ring for MLB, and I have the Super Bowl.
Yes, and the Lakers 2020 as well.
Yeah,
Hey, you've seen all 4 of your teams win. So have I. Nice. All 4 of your teams won in like really actually.
They won in such like a short span. Like I guess the earliest was the Kings in 2012.
Yeah, because let's see, I had your span was shorter than mine. I had Red Wings in 08, Ravens in February of happy birthday belated birthday to my mom, February 3rd, 2013. Cavs in 16, actually on my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. And on November 3rd, 2021. Go Braves. Hammer on, baby.
Yeah, that was it was. I will admit it is taking a little bit of getting used to, but it's cool. It's pretty cool to see Freddie Freeman wearing blue.
Okay, but I want to back to the Baker thing. You've played musical chairs, right?
Yes.
I think Baker Mayfield lost in the first round of musical chairs. Like there's 32 chairs and there's more than 32 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I think Baker Mayfield's just gonna be left without a chair because I think there's some teams that I made a list in the AFC North group chat. I think there's probably 10 teams that Baker would be an upgrade for, but it just doesn't make sense for them to do that. Like Jacksonville, they are not going to trade Trevor Lawrence. They're not going to trade
Trevor Lawrence.
Houston doesn't make sense with their plans. Jets, same thing. Like Carolina doesn't make sense. Atlanta just signed Mariota. Is Baker better than Mariota? Probably doesn't make sense. Pittsburgh, is Baker better than Trubisky? Probably doesn't make sense. San Francisco, is he better than Garoppolo and Lance? Probably doesn't make sense. Seattle,
it doesn't make sense for Seattle, for San Francisco. Like that's what I saw suggested. I kind of had the same reaction you did because I was like, they're trying to make Trey Lance the starter, and that would just hurt his chances.
That's a disaster. I just think he's kind of. Yeah, I think Baker is just kind of without a chair at this point. Like it's no fault. I would say no real fault of his own, but yeah, he just, I guess he did kind of.
I feel like he jumped the gun a little bit though with that trade request because, like, again, to be fair, the Browns were told they were out, huh?
Like if you're a Browns fan, right, and you saw that he's just like, I'm out, right? If you're a Browns fan, first of all, that's like a gut punch because he's like he won a playoff game for you, and he is the best quarterback you've had since Bernie Kosar.
If I'm a Browns fan, I'm probably on the world's biggest emotional roller coaster because on the same day that the Browns get told that they're out on Deshaun, then Baker requests a trade. Mm-hmm. And not only does he request the trade, he said like he felt the bridge was burned. But then
the trade gets denied. It's like, what the heck is going on
he
here?
Said that, or the Falcons, the Browns, like declined to honor that request. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, if I'm a Browns fan, I'm just sitting there like he's probably gonna hold out now or something, which wouldn't make any sense.
He's just tanking his value because it's if a guy wants out, he's going to pick up less in a trade, right? If let's say Matthew Stafford requested a trade from the Rams, his value immediately tanks, right? Yeah. Or if Lamar Jackson wants a trade out of Baltimore, his value immediately tanks.
The only way I guess you can see like that not happening is if like the player is ridiculously good at football.
I said I used 2 good quarterbacks as an example. I think the value hurts. Like it's like, think Adams, like he wanted out of Green Bay, but no one knew he wanted out of Green Bay. He just wanted a new contract. This is
where I go back to kind of Desean Watson. Like you knew he wanted out. I don't know. It's
if the Texans had traded Watson without Watson like requesting a trade, I think he would have gotten a lot more. I think
that makes sense.
And it also depends on when there's a theoretical cap on what you can trade, right? There's the 3 years of draft picks that you can trade. So this year you can trade the 2022, 2023, 2024. So it depends on who has the draft capital, right? The Jets, Giants have 2 first-round picks this year. The Eagles have 3 first-round picks this year, for example. None of those teams made sense as like, well, I guess the Eagles made sense as a destination, but it's hard to offer more than 3 first-round picks for a guy. And then beyond the first round, you are having serious questions of, are you just going to send a bunch of seconds and like murder your team? Like, because at a certain point, the picks are more valuable to you than they would ever be to the Texans. Like a random third round pick is going to be more valuable to you when you don't have a first or a second, right? So think like the Texans last year when they spent that pick on Davis Mills. That Davis Mills pick was more valuable to the Texans than it would be for any other team in the league because it was the Texans' first to the draft, and it was theoretically the best player the Texans could take in that draft. They had no chance of moving up, but this is right there. And I think they misplayed their hand. It didn't trade down. Like Seattle did the same thing. They could have like accumulated a bunch of draft capital, and they just didn't. They went with D. Eskridge. And like D. Eskridge might end up being a great player, but I think it's kind of like how the Falcons drafted Pitts instead of drafting a quarterback. And that's going to be looked on pretty poorly for a long time, even though I think it's the right decision.
Okay.
I think it's the right decision.
Okay. All right, I have lost track kind of where we are right now, but I think we're
any other NFL trades you want to touch on?
What else do we have? We had we talked about Tyreek. I don't think we talked too much about Devonte, but I don't think too much.
Yeah, that's a balance of power shifting move. He reunites with his college teammate Derek Carr with Raiders. You know you love him. Shout out. I haven't said the word Klotz today. So there you go.
Oh yeah, I could have put what's his name on there? Matt Ryan on there.
Yes. Matt, it's again, we're going to seeing him in a Klotz uniform. So there's that.
Allen Robinson, I think we kind of briefly touched on that. I'm happy that he's here. I will say that was one of the weirdest reactions I've ever had. I was not immediately jumping for joy because this was before the Robert Woods trade. And I was like, do we really need another wide receiver? Like, he's good at football, but it's like, how deep does our receiver room need to be? Like, do we even care about tight ends either? It's like, it's kind of wild, but Robert
is your
Woods
starting tight end going to be? Oh, wait. Is
still here.
Okay.
Higbee's still there.
My guy, Bryson Hopkins.
Hopkins should still be around.
Yeah. That's my
Kendall Blanton should still be around.
Imagine if you told someone before the season that Bryson Hopkins would be the best tight end in the Super Bowl. Would play as the best tight end in the Super Bowl.
That would I would be happy because he's been on the team for a while. So it's like we've just kind of been waiting for him to get his chance.
UDFA, right?
Did. Huh?
He was an undrafted free agent, right?
I think we drafted him. I could be wrong though.
Okay.
Because
like all of those tight ends in 2020 run together. Because like all of them are like halfway decent and could have gone anywhere from the 3rd round to the 7th round. And then like some of them inexplicably went undrafted. Like I don't think Harrison Bryant got drafted. He might be the guy I'm thinking of. But
4th round, 136th overall.
Okay, that's right. I think Harrison Bryant went undrafted. There was a really good tight end that went undrafted in the draft. A really good prospect that went undrafted, and it's just like, why? I don't know. Anything else you want to touch on?
I think that's kind of it. We kind of touched on all the big ones.
All right.
Yeah, crazy times in the NFL, but this is where we are.
Well, you know where else is crazy time?
Madness, as you could say. Just like
that was a good transition. I
had that one in my mind. I think I put it in the description too. So,
oh boy.
Speaking of madness, March Madness, everybody.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the second chance bracket. We're going to go through these games one by one. Are you ready, Jack?
Let's do it.
Even if you're not ready, here it is.
I don't think I'm fully
second chance bracket. Here we go. Okay. I did this with Jake last Monday, but here we go. There are 15 games left. Our goal collectively is to pick those 15 games. Are you ready?
Let's do it. All 15. All right, here we go.
Yes, all 15. All right. Gonzaga. Oh my goodness. Gonzaga, Arkansas. Is this tomorrow or is this Friday?
I think it's.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. Okay,
yeah,
tomorrow, 7 Eastern. I will be in class. Boo. Actually, fun fact, my professor, shout out to my professor, she canceled class tomorrow because Arizona plays tomorrow night. So thank you for that. All right. What are you thinking, Gonzaga or Arkansas?
I'm going to go Gonzaga here.
I'm
going to trust the 1 seed.
Yeah, I believe Gonzaga is a 9-point favorite. I'll take Gonzaga as well. I think I took them with the spread. I know it's not the sexy pick because they're the 1 seed and like we want upsets, but I think they are the better team. I think they are unequivocally the better team. I think Arkansas can be a little top heavy at times, and when you have Gonzaga, that it's like almost too many stars to be top heavy. Like it's like a Pro Bowl roster. A Pro Bowl roster can't be top heavy because everyone's a star. It would be different if it was like, I don't know, Aaron Donald, TJ Watt, Patrick Mahomes, and then a bunch of like college kids. Like that would be top heavy. But you get there's like stars littered across Gonzaga's roster. So I think Gonzaga makes another Elite Eight. All right, Texas Tech and Duke, they play the late game tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. What are we thinking here? This is going to be a great game.
This is going to be a really, really, really close one, and I don't think you would hate me too much if I picked Texas Tech here.
No, I don't hate it at all. I am leaning Duke, but go ahead.
I'm like balancing back and forth between the two. I feel like Texas Tech is good enough to pull off an upset, but I wouldn't be surprised if Duke won. So
yeah, I think it's a 1-point spread either way. If I recall, it's the Duke is favored, but it's a 1-point spread. So you can either take, it's like minus 115, depending on where you go. So it's like you can take Texas Tech +1 or Duke to win outright. And those are the same odds. Or you can take Duke -1 or Texas Tech to win outright. And it's the same odds. So
yeah,
I'm going to lean Duke, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas Tech won this game.
Mm-hmm. 3 versus 2 games are always pretty close.
Yeah. So I'm super excited for that one. All right, we're going to move over to the South because I know these games are tomorrow. The super, super late game, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Arizona, my Wildcats versus the Houston Cougars. What are we thinking, Jack?
Again, I know it's not like the big like upset pick that everybody wants. I'm going to go Arizona.
I'm going to pick Arizona, but this is only, I think, a 1.5-point spread, so Houston +1.5. Houston is very good. I think they are criminally underseeded, and I will say this is the best game of the tournament. I am going to plant my flag. I don't know how to objectively quantify that, but I think this will be the best game of the tournament. I think this will be
most points, I guess you can say. I don't think that automatically means best game, but
actually, wait. I have an idea. Let me pull up my idea on my phone real quick. We can move on to Michigan Villanova, but I think I can find a way to quantify it. So Michigan Villanova, Villanova is favored by 5.5 or 5.5, depending on where you go. What are we thinking?
Give me Villanova.
Go blue or the Wildcats?
I'm pretty sure I believe in Villanova to take this one. It's mostly like I don't know why I haven't been paying too close attention this year. I should be, but it's like Villanova. It just seems like they have that like it factor again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm like struggling to come up with the exact reason why, but I just have a pretty. It's nothing other than just like I have a really strong feeling about them based on like what they've done in the past as well. So it's like,
and I am trying to find. I'm on 538 right now. I know they have like an excitement index, something like that I'm looking for, and I think that's going to be my qualifier for saying Arizona is the best game. Arizona Houston's the best
excitement game index. I think I've heard of that term before, actually.
Yeah, I think they do it for the NFL as well. They might not, but I think they have. Okay, I think Villanova wins. I do have Michigan covering though, so I have it +5.5. Ah, yes. Okay, check out our latest March Madness predictions. All right. And did you say Texas Tech or Duke?
I said Texas Tech.
All right, let's roll with Texas Tech. All right. Now we slide on down to the East. We have this absolutely chaos, screams explosions. And now I can give you the win probability of these games. Wow. 538 has Houston and Texas Tech as favorites. That's fun. Okay. That is depressing. All right. In this game, UNC, UCLA, they are backing the Bruins 54%. What are you thinking? North Carolina or UCLA?
If there's anything I've paid attention to at all in March Madness, it's UCLA. And they've looked pretty good. They had a kind of a sluggish start. I think it was, who did they play in the first round?
Akron.
I actually have the
Akron.
bracket right here. They're in the East. Yeah, Akron. And Akron kind of, made it a little bit close, but UCLA has been looking better. They looked a lot better against I just took the bracket away. St. Mary's is who they played.
Yeah.
They looked a lot better. They looked a lot more refined. They were hitting a lot of threes as well. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. Give me UCLA in this one.
One of the hotter teams in the country, North Carolina, they whacked Marquette. They turned Marquette into that was a bloodbath. Then they went up 25 on Baylor, but critically, they almost lost that game. They got bailed out near the end there. I'm going to back the Bruins. I think they are bound for a second consecutive Elite Eight berth.
Straight Elite Eight, maybe hopefully a second straight Final Four. We'll see.
Okay, so I did find the excitement meter. The best game from Sunday, if you can guess, was Arizona TCU. Went to overtime. See, that's one of the screwy things, is that you can have a better game than that, but since Arizona TCU went to overtime, it kind of heightens the excitement meter, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I will see what the competition is, right? So I will see what the competition is. Speaking of competition, we have one of the few times in the history of March Madness, we have a 15 seed here in the Sweet 16. We have Purdue, we have St. Peter's. Purdue is 12.5-point favorites. 538 gives Purdue an 88% chance to grab the dub. Are you backing the Boilermakers? Are you backing Zach's Peacocks? Actually, Zach runs I believe he runs the Barstool account for them.
As much as I really want to see the Peacocks keep going in this tournament, as I'm sure a lot of us do, because it's pretty cool when 15 or 16 seed teams just make runs out of nowhere. I'm pretty positive that Purdue's got this one.
Okay. This is another one. I'm taking St. Peter's plus 12.5, but I do have Purdue winning this game.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the Midwest. Kansas at Providence, Kansas versus Providence. Kansas is not huge favorites. They're, I think, 4 or 5 points, maybe 6 or 7 points. 538 gives them a 72% chance to grab the W. Do you go with the Jayhawks or the Friars?
This seems like another one of those games that could be unexpectedly close. It's a tough call. I'm going to go with Kansas, though.
Yeah, I think so, too. I've bashed Providence before, and I congratulations, Kansas, on going to the Final Four. I will say that right now. I think they beat Providence, and I think they beat whoever we choose here. But
it's an 11 versus 10.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often. I can't think of one off the top of my head, and ESPN is not helping me out here because they don't give me examples. But this one is the late game on Friday night. Sonny will be watching. We might be live for that, actually. Iowa State versus Miami, 11 seed versus 10 seed. Both teams coming off massive upsets. Iowa State, of course, shocked Wisconsin. Miami beat up on Auburn. Do you got the Cyclones or the Hurricanes?
The battle of I guess you could say Cyclones, because a hurricane is a cyclone.
The battle of storms.
Tropical storms that are stronger than tropical storms.
Yes.
Give me Miami.
All right. I agree with you. I agree with you. Big shout out to Jake. He called the Miami to the Elite Eight. Might have been to the Final Four. I think it was just the Elite Eight. But we have an enticing Elite Eight here. Gonzaga, Texas Tech, UCLA, Purdue, Arizona, Villanova, and Kansas, Miami. All right. Let's start up back in the West. Gonzaga, Texas Tech.
The bias in me really wants to get UCLA all the way to the end, but it's I don't know.
Maybe. Who knows? All right.
I don't know.
Gonzaga,
Let's see.
Texas Tech.
Give me Gonzaga. I think they're still just too strong to be top heavy, like you said.
Right. This is tough. I'm going to lean Gonzaga as well. I think Texas Tech is very good. They're probably closer to a 2 seed or 1 seed than a 3, but I think Gonzaga, they just have something special this year. All right. Let's go over to the South. Arizona, Villanova. Who books the second ticket to Nolans? Which Wildcat?
Which Wildcat, indeed. Give me Villanova. I'm sorry to your Arizona Wildcats, but
I don't think I could let you do that. I don't.
It's disloyal. I understand. We can disagree if
Okay,
it's on
I've already made my bracket, so I'll have this be like the official sports desk bracket. So we'll take
If you
Villanova
want to put
there.
Arizona on there, be
No,
my
we'll take
guest. I don't
Villanova
care.
here. We'll take Villanova here.
Okay.
I will say Arizona is coming off a game that they didn't look all that great in. They had some Benedict Mathurian had some really goofy shots. I think he was 5 for 15 at one point, 5 for 17. So Arizona can be beaten, and it might be by Houston. And I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Houston would beat Villanova. So on my brackets, I have the winner of Arizona Houston going to the Final Four and probably going to the national championship game for what that's worth. All right, let's move to the bottom half of the bracket. We have your UCLA Bruins and America's Purdue Boilermakers.
Tough one, actually. Like really,
yes,
really,
I
really
agree.
tough.
I agree. This is very tough. This is a great. This is a great.
This has the potential to be a banger of a game if it actually happens. God, I am like stuck right now.
I'm gonna lean UCLA.
I'm gonna lean UCLA, but it's like just you can give it to any of them, honestly. Like it's one of those where it's like I'd say like I would be upset because UCLA, but at the same time it's like
So
I'm not sure if they get past Gonzaga though.
I do have a question for you. What's your opinion of upsets? I have a bit of a love-hate relationship. Like I like when I see St. Peter's winning games, but I don't like that we don't get a Purdue versus Kentucky game, for example. Or I don't like that we don't get a Wisconsin versus Auburn game, for example.
Well, that's just kind of how tournaments go. Like, it's the best teams have to stay
we didn't
consistent.
get Titans Packers.
That's true. We didn't get Titans Packers. It's like the best teams have to stay consistent in tournaments too. Like this is what you play all year for. And if you're not going to play well in the tournament, then you don't deserve to advance. You don't deserve to make it to the net, or maybe you do, or something random happens. I don't know, but generally, you like the better teams have to play like they should belong in the next round. So it just comes down to how you play. So if you play bad enough to get upset, then that's just how it is.
There you go. Good. There. Wise words from Jack. All right, and we have our final Elite Eight matchup: Kansas, Miami, Jayhawks, Hurricanes. Who you got?
Should we pick Miami just for the fun of it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking, go you, baby.
It's more likely Kansas is going to win.
Yeah, it is more likely Kansas wins, but I think Kansas did really turn it on late in the season. They are a deserving 1 seed, but Miami has found a groove here in March. Let's put it that way.
They have.
All right. As far as I'm concerned, this is the real national championship game. Gonzaga, UCLA, Bulldogs, Bruins. Who you got?
This is I'm gonna get I'm heartbroken to say, but I'm gonna pick Gonzaga here, and it could be a banger. It could be an absolute banger, but Gonzaga again too strong.
All right, Wildcats, Hurricanes, Villanova, Miami.
Villanova.
Yeah, I think so too.
We made it pretty easy on ourselves to pick Miami there.
Yeah, and I think we will both agree there that the Gonzaga Bulldogs will finally ascend to the mountain.
Unless Villanova hits another buzzer beater. But
Jenkins for the championship. Oh, that is one of the greatest calls.
Iconic call from that was Jim Nantz, right?
Yeah, Jim Nantz. If we weren't at risk of getting demonetized, it would be so much fun to like rank the all-time calls.
That would be so fun to play all the
we did a bracket. Oh my goodness.
That's our bracket that we can do.
Yes, that would be a lot of fun. All right. We both have Gonzaga. Get a nice 69-61.
Let's do it.
There you go.
Why not? Let's do it.
The official Sports Desk Tournament Challenge Second Chance bracket has the Gonzaga Bulldogs reigning supreme for the first time in their history. So congratulations there.
I hope the Bruins can do it, but Gonzaga is a pretty tough opponent, so we'll see. Where are we at now?
We had Kari go crazy exploding out there on the Twitch chat. Benedict Mathurian, best player in Arizona. Duke MSU. Ooh, he has Providence. Okay.
Okay, fun.
All right. Miami. right?
I think briefly we had I like mentioned the idea of we could
Duke
talk a
as the
little bit.
underdogs. Okay, 538 has Duke as the underdog by a little bit. Betting market, I think the line is Duke -1, but it's like it's close. Like both of them are negative. Like they're -1. One of them is -105. One of them is -115 or -115. So, I don't think it's an upset either way.
No, it's not an upset. It's a 2 versus 3 game. I don't think that really counts as like a giant upset if a 3 seed wins.
No. Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes it can. It depends on the 2 and the 3 seed, but
yeah,
usually
that's
it doesn't.
true. That's true.
Like I think when North Carolina, when UConn won their first title in '99, they were 9.5 point underdogs to Duke. They were both 1 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep it rolling.
I think we were gonna briefly touch on the U.S. men's soccer team because they've got a pretty good chance this week to punch their ticket to the World Cup. Let me bring up their schedule. I think they play like 3 games pretty soon. Let me check. They play tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Against
they play
El
against
Tri, right? Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. They've got Panama after that on the 27th. So that's Sunday. And then
Let me see if I
Wednesday,
can
March 30th, they play Costa Rica. So let me check the standings. They're second on the table right now. I'm pretty sure.
I can't spell CONCACAF table. I can spell CONCACAF. All right, yeah. Canada's first. They have 25 points. They've won their last 5. The U.S. is tied with Mexico in second, but they have a superior goal difference. Mexico's third, Panama fourth, Costa Rica fifth. And then beyond that, it really doesn't matter. El Salvador 6th, Jamaica 7, Honduras 8. Honduras has lost 5 matches in a row. They've lost 8 of their 11, drawn their other 3. So it's pretty safe. To me, it's pretty safe to say Canada, U.S., Mexico are going to Qatar.
It is.
Panama and Costa Rica fighting for that intercontinental playoff spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's pretty much just winning clinch. I'm pretty positive. I could be wrong, but they're in a really good spot. I think did they announce their roster yet?
That's beautiful. I'm not sure.
Let me find it. Let me see if they. I want to see if we can get a read on their current team because.
Also, big props to Canada.
Canada came out of nowhere.
So congratulations to. I'm blanking on the guy. He's like a winger. Awesome. Played at Bayern Munich. Plays at Bayern Munich. Frick, he's the best player on the team. Why am I blanking on his name?
Pulisic?
No, the American.
Oh,
he's American. Canadian soccer player.
Canadian. I can't think
Alphonso
of his name
Davies.
right now. Oh yeah,
sure. Yeah, he's unreal. So I'm excited to watch.
Here we go. I found it.
Canada.
Let me grab the roster really quick. Yeah, Canada's fun. They did shut us out 2-0, but
yes, this is true. But continental biases aside. All right.
And this is I like Christian Roldan on this roster.
Tim Weah. Love the Tim Weah sighting.
Walker Zimmerman's been picking it up a lot lately. My eyes are going to go towards a lot of the MLS names, but I think
DeAndre Yedlin. There you go.
Ricardo Pepi, I like.
Eric Palmer Brown. I remember all the days I would sign him really early in FIFA career mode.
Obviously, Pulisic. Can't be without him.
Tyler Adams. This is a fun squad. I like it.
Yeah, this is pretty fun.
Love to hear it. Love to see it.
There you go. All right. I think there's only one segment left.
It's time.
Let me just get things set up really fast. We are going to bring back everybody's favorites. Tier this. We talked about the Sweet 16. Now we're going to talk about the Sweet 16's logos, not the teams, just the logos.
Yes.
And since they're alphabetically, I think they're alphabetically arranged. We're gonna be starting with your guys, the Arizona Wildcats.
Bear down, go Cats. Do you realize how hard it is to get like a W and a C in one hand?
I'm just now seeing it. Looks painful, honestly.
It is. It is. I get hand cramps. That's why I don't go to football games. Arizona, the Block A is iconic, but then again, I do go to this school. I have memorabilia with the Block A on it. I have actually 1 second.
He's gonna get his memorabilia. I think it's kind of cool actually how they like stuff like a text letter A inside like a Block A. I think that's kind of unique. Oh snap! He's got like the light up sticks. Are those like foam or?
I have Arizona
blow up
clapping sticks.
Are those like foam? Or what are they made of? I don't know if you can hear me right now. What are those made of?
Styrofoam.
Styrofoam. Okay, yeah. I have a bunch of blow up ones, but
shout out to the batteries in these. I got these from the Arizona Gonzaga game like 2 years ago, in 2019, before COVID, and it still lights up.
Damn, not bad. Where would you tier list it? Do we go A for Arizona, or
yes,
are you
A for Arizona?
The bias in you is gonna put it on S tier, and I will do.
Yeah,
A.
I don't think it's S tier. I think it's a good logo.
It's creative.
Yeah, get that Block A.
We've got I think this is Arkansas next.
Yeah, good old Arkansas.
The Razorbacks is what their team is called.
So,
and it's like what is that? A warthog?
Yeah, it's a hog of some sort, or it's a Razorback. But
yeah,
like "Go Hogs" is like their slogan. I will say that it's as an Arizona student, like I know why it's Bear Down, Go Cats, even though Bear Down has nothing to do with Wildcats, but I can see why it's confusing for other fan bases.
Yeah, like you said that, and I had no idea what you were talking about.
Yeah, Bear. Yeah, so it's like a old myth here, like in the 20s with the original football team. They weren't even called the Wildcats then; they were the Arizona Bobcats, and there's one of the coaches said Bear Down. Whatever. Still could say Go Cats with the Bobcats. Anyways, yeah. Arkansas. See, my issue with Arkansas is that I don't think it's immediately distinguishable as a Razorback or the school
like you have
itself.
To look at the back of the animal to like no, it's a razor. And it's like just we were calling it like a hog just now. I don't.
Yeah. Like I think other schools do a better job of explaining, or other logos do a better job of explaining. Like we'll talk about those, but I think it's pretty ambiguous. First off, what the mascot is. Second off, what the school is. So, like, if you're looking at this for the first time and you had to, like, guess, right, what school is that? What team is that? I don't know if you'd necessarily guess they were Arkansas.
Yeah, and I don't think I'd say Razorback either.
A for Arizona or Alabama or Alaska, whatever, or Arkansas. I think you might be inclined to pick the Block A for Arkansas before you would pick the Razorback for Arkansas, which is hilarious. I would go C tier. I think it's like a well-designed thing, although I will say it would be a little bit difficult for like a child to draw it. So like if you're drawing the logo of your favorite team, it's like, think of it like flag. I'm going to judge this as if I was judging a flag. I'm actually going to put it in D tier. Because I think
Can you imagine like me as a little kid trying to draw the LA Kings logo? Because I grew up with like the crown logo.
Oh Lord.
Like the crazy complicated one. And that's actually my favorite logo nowadays that they've used before.
Yeah.
And I've
like
done
even
it
like the Ravens logo is a little hard to like you can get the general gist of it, but it's hard to like it has too much going on. Like the Cavs, I have the C hat or the like a lot of the like the Braves hat, like those are pretty easy, like the fancy A to draw.
The Dodgers had the LA, that was pretty easy to draw.
Yeah.
I'll go C tier in my opinion with this
I'd give like between C and D, just if we're judging them like as if like flags. Like I think it's a good logo, and I don't think there's any bad logos in college football or college basketball, but
technically this could be used for football too. We're just doing logos. Duke, I believe, is next.
I think Duke is really polished. It's a classic look. I would probably go A tier.
Yeah, it's like too like I guess iconic, if you will. Like there's not really a point in changing it.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, the Bulldogs. It's
I think you actually get the Bulldog gist, right? Good job, Arkansas.
They do, but
you understand that it's a Bulldog.
Yeah.
I would probably go B tier. I think it's
I'd
better
go
than
B.
Arkansas. I don't think it's quite as polished as the
It
Arizona
feels like
dude.
a high school hockey team's logo, honestly.
Yes.
I
really like Houston's. I like the interlocking letters. I like the red.
You'd think they wouldn't find a way to make a U and an H interlock, but they do it pretty nicely.
Yeah.
I'd go B.
Yeah, I'd go B. I think it's pretty. I think it's a little
Other
bit
than
better
that,
than
it's pretty
Gonzaga's.
generic, but it's not bad for sure. Like it's pretty simple to make it work.
Okay, have you seen the Iowa State, the old Iowa State logo, with the cyclone in it?
Yeah, I think I saw that when I was looking them up.
Okay, because I like that. You get the cyclone and you get the eye and you get the. I think the I State just kind of screams. It's a little generic for me.
Yeah, I agree
colors,
with you down there.
I
Like
think
the colors are nice.
Work. Mm-hmm.
The logo looks okay. Like I like the state over the I. Like I guess with college teams and logos and stuff like that, a lot of them use the block font, so you kind of have to like play around with it a little bit, which they did. Right. It's still a little too generic for me to put it anything above B tier, but
okay, that's fine.
I think it's fine. Like it stands on its own pretty well. Jayhawks.
I think it has to go S tier.
It's got to go S tier.
It's like when you think college basketball, you think Kansas.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I picked the Jayhawks as my team in 2K17, so that was fun.
See, I would always pick UConn when they were available. All right, DIU, Miami. It's super polished.
It's polished. It's clean. It's simple.
I'd go A tier.
I would go A tier too. I always find it funny how like it's for Miami, but you just look at that and it's like a U. Like it's not.
Yeah. And it's not even like hurricane related either.
It's not supposed to represent a hurricane. It's not supposed to represent Miami. It's just U.
The U. Yep. Michigan, the block M is iconic.
It's too iconic.
I feel like it belongs in the S tier.
Yeah, it's way too iconic. It's simple. And minimalist.
And go ahead, throw North Carolina up there as well.
North Carolina, yeah, I can agree with that as well.
Yeah, the beautiful Tar Heel blue, just all around gorgeous. Providence. If you looked at that, would you be able to tell me it's in Providence, it's in Rhode Island, or that they are the Friars?
I know. I don't. It's not like it's a messy logo, but it's like
it's I don't get. Like I think it's a good logo, but it doesn't. If the point of a logo is to identify a certain team, I think it doesn't do that very well.
No,
like if that was on a flag and someone saw it, I don't think they would say, "Oh yeah, Providence." So I think that I would put that with Arkansas. So in good old C tier.
We'll go C tier. Purdue.
It's fine. I think I would go B tier. The colors are kind of cool.
I like this slant. I think that's cool. It reminds me of it's something the Pittsburgh Penguins could have used back in like when they had their old colors.
Let me see if I can find the old Purdue logo with like a Boilermaker on it.
I don't even know what a Boilermaker is.
Train. Old
Purdue. Okay. Yeah, makes sense. I think this is the St. Peter's Peacocks. Oh, that's nice actually. Wow.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I think this would go in A tier.
That would
this
be
is the one I grew up with. All right. You know, as much as I don't think I would necessarily say that's a peacock, I do. I like it. I like the idea of like fighting birds.
And it's like team. They pulled it off pretty nicely, honestly. Like they only used one color and they still made it look like a peacock. They still made it look pretty solid. I'd go B tier.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, I would go B tier. It can't go too high because I think it would be a little hard to draw, but
So Texas Tech here. This is a little
interlocking
designer trick that they use, which is called copy paste and then shrink. That's what this looks like to me.
Okay. So what like demographics or what people do you think hate us? Because I think you can just add the entirety of Lubbock, Texas to that list.
I'm not saying it's a bad logo. I'm just saying that's what they did. Like they took a T, They duplicated it.
Microsoft probably doesn't like us because we said that some Winter Olympic logos looked like Microsoft
Oh
fonts.
god, that's true.
Darn.
Or at least the
Those
people in
elites
that
don't
one
come at
city
us.
that, yeah. Jeez.
Aye. All right.
I would put it solidly in like B or A tier though. Like
I would go B tier.
It's fine.
I think it gets the
It does
point
its
across
job.
that it's Texas Tech, TT.
Yeah.
Do you know what the mascot is for Texas Tech?
I think it's the Red Raiders is what their team is called.
Would you be able to guess that from the logo?
No.
Me neither.
Red.
Granted, I
That's
wouldn't
what
be
I'm
able to
getting
guess
from the
that
logo.
from the Wolverines or Tar Heels. Actually, I think you could maybe guess North Carolina Tar Heels.
From the
Maybe.
NC, I don't think
No,
I would be able to
not
get
from
it.
the NC, but from like the colors, because that's Tar Heel blue. Like Wolverines, you have no shot. Arizona, you have no shot. Duke, maybe you could pick out their like blue.
Mm-hmm.
Miami, no shot. Houston, no shot. Iowa State, Purdue, they folded there. Gonzaga, you wouldn't be able to tell me that's Gonzaga or in Spokane. Peacock, same thing. You wouldn't be able to tell me that's in Jersey City, New Jersey. Arkansas and Providence, though, whiff on that. All right, UCLA.
I wonder what UCLA's team is called.
Yeah, this one actually tells you they're the Bruins. Granted, when did you learn that a Bruin was a bear? Because it took me a long time to learn that a Bruin was a bear.
It didn't take me that long. It's when I saw the Boston Bruins wearing a bear on their jersey, I was like, I wonder if that's just what that is. So
okay.
I
didn't know what a Bruin was for the longest time. I was like probably 10, 12, 14 maybe. So okay, the cursive script is always a good look. I think it has to go at least A tier. I think
got to be A tier.
Bruins underneath is a little tacky to me. So if
I think they have a version of it without the Bruins underneath, but this is just the one they use all the time.
I think it goes in A tier or it goes in S tier, but with the Bruins as like the finishing part of the A, I think it's A tier.
Yeah, this could be like a good baseball logo too. I think they play baseball actually. So, and then lastly.
Villanova is just really clean. I love the color combination. Is it a Wildcat? I have no idea. It doesn't look like a Wildcat, but I think it's a really polished logo. Yeah. Like if we were called V-Stadium and we had that as our logo, I think I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I would too. It's like a nice. It's like modern but classic, if you will. Like it's mostly like a block V, I guess, but like the light blue streaks in there.
Mm-hmm.
I complain about powder blue a lot, and a lot of these teams do have powder blue, but when it's used well, I think it works, and this team uses it very well.
I would go somewhere between S tier and A tier because I don't think it's quite as iconic as Kansas, Michigan, and North Carolina, but I think it's a little bit better than Arizona, Duke, Miami, and UCLA.
So nothing was bad enough to go in D tier, but
then like Arkansas and Providence like are good college basketball. Again, it's hard to find a bad college basketball logo of the current ones because let's be real here. These schools have had years and years and years and years to troubleshoot designs. These are not getting made overnight. It's not like the Olympic stuff and Olympic stuff. Like the Olympic logos do not change. Like the 1996 Atlanta logo is the exact same it was when it came out in 96 as it is now. These logos, if something doesn't work, there are so many people involved in the design process over so many generations that it's going to eventually work out. Like, I am going to pull up the old UConn Huskies logo, and I want you to take a look at this.
I'm curious now. I want to see this. You know what's fun too is I have the whiteboard now, so I can just draw something like the logos that we talked about earlier.
All right.
Let's take a look.
Here it is.
That looks depressed. It looks like a depressed polar bear is what that looks like.
Look, they've had plenty of time to move on from this. See, that's the point I'm trying to make. They've had plenty of time to move on, right? And like, what is this?
What?
What is the 1960s? What is what even?
You can make this argument about like NFL teams too, or like, jeez.
Like, okay, look, I will be the first to admit that as much as I do love the 2002 to 2013 UConn logo, And as much as I associate like the good old days with Kemba Walker, it is really difficult to draw. And 2013 is like a slight improvement because there's less like hair.
Yeah.
But what is 1959?
What is like oh my god. It legitimately looks depressed.
Yes. It looks like, you remember how you did those what? What?
Someone's just messing around.
Yeah, this is an iconic Gator logo, though. I would say that is top tier.
I wouldn't scroll too much further down, but
yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
What is this? Just what is this? Why is it in different colors? Oh,
people are just goofing off with it. All right, I think we're
okay. I think
gonna
so
get
too.
too deep down the rabbit hole. But,
yeah. All right.
That was
all right. That was fun. That was fun. I like that. All right.
There weren't too many logos to put on the tier list this time, which is good. So
yep. Yeah, for your next task, you have to do all 358 NCAA men's basketball Division I basketball logos.
Fun. I'll be spending the next 2 centuries cropping them out and putting them on the square.
Oh Lord. You just hand in your resignation letter to Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Frankie. Screw you. Ryan asked me, or Splash asked me to do this ridiculous task. Either fire him or fire me. I am out.
I ain't doing it.
Yeah, the 358. Oh,
all right. Well, I'm not sure what else needs to be touched on. Yeah, I don't even know where that train of thought was going. So I was gonna say something about the LA Kings. They scored 6 goals last night against the Predators, so that was fun.
Nice. I don't know how my Red Wings are doing. No, it died.
Uh-oh. Did it die? Did you jinx it on stream?
No.
Is that what happened?
No.
On stream.
It died. It died. You can't see any color in it. This one's okay. It died. And this wasn't even the one I dropped.
You better shut that other one off before it dies.
In the arms of the angels. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Actually, we have do you play Lego Star Wars?
I do.
Okay.
That's like to be a giant Lego Star Wars blade.
Wait. Yes. Wait. When I get home from graduating, we should live stream Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga.
If I buy it, I have the complete saga on my PC.
Yeah, the greatest, one of the greatest games ever made.
That's like
imagine
GOAT status game.
We could do like Star Wars Saturday.
Oh, that would be so fun. We could recreate NFL players in Lego Star Wars.
Yes,
the ideas are
coming
in quick.
Oh my goodness!
Oh god, right. I got to get to work on unlocking stuff in that case.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that'll wrap us up for today. Episode 63, I believe Willie Lanier episode. I'll go with that.
I think Austin Corbett wore 63 for the Rams. I guess you could just go ahead, do the usual outro.
Yeah,
go for it.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you like it. Make sure you like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you ring a ding ding, that Le'Veon bell, that notification bell, so you get notified when we go live, when we post new shorts, when we post new clips, whenever, wherever uSTADIUM.
Thanks for watching, everybody. And as always, Super Bowl champion Aaron Donald trains with knives.
I don't know how this one turned on, but
we'll see you guys next week.